Good afternoon, delightful people inside my phone. How are you? Hope you're doing well. My name's Anne Harper. I've been posting about shared heritage. I have been learning the critch, which is, well, maybe the ancestor of the harp, pretty much. The oldest stringed instrument in Western Europe. That's in some of my other videos. But I was going back to my roots today. I have been a clarinetist all my life. Well, pretty much all my life. I love the clarinet. It's a single reed wind instrument, not really associated with Ireland particularly, although it does work very well in traditional music, but it's not really used in that way, unfortunately. But I've always wondered, like, you know, what kind of reed tradition existed on this island in the past. The clarinet was invented, in inverted commas, by a man called Joseph Denner in the 18th century. So it's a relatively new instrument in terms of its sort of most recent vintage. But before the invention of the clarinet, there were single reed and double reed instruments in use worldwide throughout time. The only problem is we can't prove it. So we've got little pictures here and there, maybe in Egypt or whatever, of people playing things that look like reed instruments. And on the Irish high crosses, we've got bagpipes, or what looks like bagpipes. So we think maybe they would have played bagpipes. But beyond that, we know very little about reed instruments. And the reason for that is that they don't survive. They are organic. They decay easily. We've never found one, as far as I'm aware, in a bog or anything like that. There are mentions of an instrument called the bwini. Eugene O'Curry, the great academic, described a bwini, but really it's hard to tell whether it was like a recorder or whether it was more like a flute or whether maybe it had a reed. And I am reliably informed that bwi can mean reed. So perhaps it was a reed instrument, double reed, single reed, don't know. So my curiosity, my rabbit hole has been, well, what kind of reeds did we use? How might they have been used? What would they have sounded like? Where would they have grown? And alongside my investigation into shared heritage and learning this ancient instrument, the critch, the forerunner of the harp, I have also been keeping my eyes peeled for reedy things. And I was lucky enough to go to Lough with my friend Jim Conway the other week. And while we were there, I saw loads of reeds, which looked pretty interesting and pretty useful. So I gathered a load of them and brought them home and have dried them out a wee bit in the kitchen. And today, when I should have been doing something else, very busy day tomorrow, should have been practicing my single reed instrument, which is in the other room. Instead, I decided I would make a reed because, you know, you always do your best work when you're supposed to be doing something else. So I have made a reed and I'm really excited. This is my reed. I don't know if you can see. I'll turn it around. Do you see there's a little bit sort of cut out of it? So like a little flap. And it's that little flap that will vibrate as the air goes across. At the top of the cane, I've got a bit of blue tack, and at the bottom, this is just a bit of PTFE tape. Don't worry about that. That will be replaced by wax in the future, probably. Both the blue tack and that PTFE. Anyway, there's also a little bit of thread low down on the cut bit just to keep it slightly separate. And I'm going to give it a blow for you. So quite a gentle sound, actually. As the reed vibrates in the column of air that I'm putting down it. Now, there are instruments that use reeds like this, one in particular called the Lanuedis from Sicily, which I wonder if we had something a bit similar to that in this country. But anyway, we just don't know. So that means that you can experiment and you can try and figure stuff out. And what I'd really like to know is if I could put one of these into a tube like this. This is an elder tube. And maybe make an instrument that could maybe have been played along with the critch, the early lyre, the lyre perhaps providing the chords and maybe a tune played on one of these. And the only way to figure that stuff out is to do it. So this is the first step in my journey into the world of reed instruments that don't have bags, or the possible world of reed instruments in Ireland that don't have bags. Because if you can find these reeds, you can bet that somebody put a cut in it and stuck it into a pipe, and that's what I'm going to do. So stay tuned for more updates, and thanks for geeking out with me this afternoon. Have a great weekend.